students graduating from management colleges across the country every year. But somehow, their entrepreneurial ideas don't seem to graduate with them. Why? Well, I'm here at the campus of IIM Bangalore just to find out. Lavinia, let's start with you. You're not really keen on entrepreneurship. Why?
It's pretty awesome to have your own venture and be your own boss. But then there are a lot of deterrent factors. One of them is that you need a steady source of income once you graduate from here because you need to pay back your student loan. Secondly, the work-life balance. It becomes all the more important when it comes to women. So especially in the initial stages of a startup, you need to compromise a lot on your personal life. And I think that is one of the biggest deterrent factors for me.
And Nikhil, you on the other hand, want to start up or have already started up? What really inspired you?
I don't want to be good. I want to be great. And you can be great only if you go in business. Because when you're in business, the sky is the limit. You can achieve anything you want. It all depends on how good you are. And that is why I started my own startup in Chennai. And we actually manufacture alternators and motors and small wind turbines. And we use new technology. We develop technology Indian and all indigenous. We use permanent magnets for our motors and alternators, which allows us to run our alternators at very good efficiencies. And there's a lot of demand for those kind of alternators. They're much lighter and much more compact. And that's pretty much it about.
So I'll latch on to your I don't want to be good, but I want to be great. So do you think in a management college or any college for that matter, ideas really graduate from that first level of having them in college itself?
So it's great that people have startups already, but the advantage of starting off in a college like say IIM Bangalore, which has the connections and the status of being IIM Bangalore, you get the access to the best faculty in the country. You have the access to the best talent, the best minds in the country. So it's a great place to start off, and it's a nice environment. It's a safe environment, and then that really helps you take it forward. And once you go out, you can take it off from there.
Just to add to the point she made, in addition to the faculty, also the peer network that you get here, it's one of the best. So you can actually really bounce off those ideas from your friends and get the best out of it. So I mean, in the formulation stage, when ideas are being changed randomly and dynamically, that IIM Bangalore actually provides you that environment that you can actually come up with the best when you go outside, and really gives you that experimental platform when you are here.
I think my viewpoint is that institute does a great deal in terms of helping you out in terms of if people actually take up entrepreneurial ventures. I mean, there is a scheme in the institute that your entire fee is being waived off. So those kind of support structures are already in place, which are there to encourage you to become entrepreneurs. The thing which I feel is if you spend a bit of time in a professional setup, you take away that experience with you. And that I think at some point, even if you do a startup, let's say 5 or 10 years down the line, that professional experience I think counts a lot. So I would suggest that people come here, go back to the industry, spend some time, and then take a call from there that what is it that they want to start up. But I always feel that because we are an institute like this and we represent the best, I think we have the responsibility to give back to the society and to the country. So I think we have to look for some kind of startup idea at some point.
I don't exactly believe with what these guys say. So the thing is, when you're right out of your engineering college, you have the financial prowess, but you don't have the business acumen. And when you're in an MBA college, you have the business acumen, but you don't have the financial prowess anymore. With the loans running up to 20 lakhs, it becomes really difficult for someone to actually, take that risk and then go and start off something of his own. And adding on to that, more than the government giving incentives, I think if the corporate world has incentives like Mahindra has this Park the Rice campaign, where it funds startups as a part of the Mahindra group, but then it's an independent venture. So therein you have a steady source of income and you can do a venture on the other hand. So something of that sort will probably help.
Okay, I'll come back to the financial part in a bit. But before that, you always saying that it's a great platform that you have in IIM or any other college where you can ideate. But my particular question is, why does this not graduate out into the world? Why does it not work in the real world?
What I would say is you have to get the product market fit right first. So getting into the right idea is very, very important for getting into a good startup, and to get into that idea itself is very challenging. So you have to hit that first.
So a lot of time what happens is the ideation stage is probably in some course that you're told, okay, come up with an idea, or you have a competition. What I feel is that these processes end up being a little bit more academic than practical in the real world. And hence, a lot of the ideas that may come up, they don't graduate into the real world.
Okay. Nalan, you have something to add?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying that I believe that MBA colleges, they teach you how to calculate the risk, how to plan the venture, but they don't teach you how to take that risk. People here are a bit like scared. Okay, this is the risk that I'm going to take, or maybe I'll fail or not. So that's the thing I believe.
Okay. So let me go to ideation itself, because that was something which someone raised. What really goes into this ideation process that you have for an entrepreneurial venture in a college?
So I think there are multiple courses that we do here, like new product development or corporate strategy and courses like that, wherein we basically take up ideas which are basically in the seed phase, and we basically go through all the challenges that a normal typical startup would face, and then we basically try and simulate the kind of environment that a particular startup would actually thrive in. And so that kind of experience during the projects, and we also do kind of go outside the campus and talk to a lot of entrepreneurs and take their views on how they have kind of come across all that same problems that they have faced in their lives. I feel the reason why some of those ideas don't go to the next level is because there's always this trade-off. I mean, right now when you're graduating and you see that good packages coming to you, and all of a sudden you think that in short-term view that you feel that this is the right thing, this is the right path that you should take. But then longer term, people always feel that entrepreneurship is going to yield better rewards for you. But I think that short-sightedness, wherein you see that there's the benefit in the hindsight. I mean, you always feel that this is the right way, and which is where I think a lot of us make the mistake.
Okay. So both of you were talking about risk taking. You wanted to add something to that?
So I just want to add something. It's not about making a mistake. It's just that the ideas are always on the plate. But when you graduate from here, you get that financial security, and then you build that up for building up your ventures.
I don't think a B school, as say, they contribute too much to it. I think an idea just comes up. But what B school does is it kind of makes you overthink stuff. Like if you have an idea, you'll start thinking about the operations, marketing, and sometimes you think that it's not going to work. You really need that push. That's why I think when you come out of undergrad, you don't have that much business acumen like Amit just mentioned. So you're less risk averse and you want to do the idea. But here you start thinking about stuff. You have other offers in your mind. You have other stuff on your plate. So you're not that willing to take the risk.
Okay. So again, coming back to risk, do you feel that these colleges, like you said, they are a great platform again, and they give you these, they simulate the real world. So is that good enough, or do you need something more to help you take that risk and take that plunge?
So I believe that the colleges now should tell you that how to sell. Because an entrepreneur from the very starting, he has to sell his ideas to the investors. He has to sell his products to the customers. He has to do a lot of selling. So first of all, I believe that there should be like a course which is totally into selling. You go on the street and sell for 15 days or 20 days, something like that should be there. The second thing is, as Venkat mentioned, that people don't know how to run a business. So there should be a course like how to run a business, where you are given a business, maybe like some 10K, 50K or something, and then you have to run a business for a term or so. So that will be a great opportunity to learn that how to run a business.
College is basically a very safe environment for any kind of organization of this sort to grow. So you really cannot expect that you would have all the factors coming into the picture over here. At the end of the day, you would never really have a true picture of how your startup is going to do outside in the world. I think people should just take the risk and try to start it off in this kind of environment, try to grow, and then we always have the faculty, the alumni to fall back on if we have any kind of obstacles when we go outside and try to take off our startup in the real world.
When it comes to enrolling your kids in a particular school of your choice, well, education does matter, but security also does rank high among parents. Let's find out from experts what schools can do to provide maximum security to their kids. Ma'am, what do you think schools can do to ensure the kids are safe?
In today's world, protecting a child is more important than educating a child. So for us, security is of prime importance for any school. And there are two different kinds of securities. One is internal security, what is happening inside the premise of the school, and one is external security, where the security at the gate, the bus which the children use coming to school, all these things are monitored. So as a school, we have to ensure that we have proper security system at the gate where children enter the school and they are left, and they come through a security agency, so a background check is done. Also, we ensure that the bus conductor, the bus driver, the maids, there should be a maid who should be accompanying the bus and the children when they go back, which is mandatory for most of the schools, and that proper verification has been done. As far as internal security is concerned, there can be many kinds of problems which a child can face inside the school also, which is in form of verbal abuse or maybe harassment or physical abuse, or just a struggle between two kids. So to ensure that doesn't happen, we need to have proper guidelines set in the school. We need to have proper teacher training done.
What's your take on this?
I think Shona has commented on it comprehensively. There's one particular aspect, as in when you are employing, taking on employees, there should be definitely a background check done. That is really very important, and checking what a prospective employee's antecedents are, how does he behave with children. There should be a certain amount of time when he is placed under careful observation till he understands the ethos of the school and internalizes the whole thing, so that the children can be nurtured and kept safe from harm. Yes, verbal abuse, as Shona said, it can take place not only, when we think about abusive behavior, we think of adults harming the children, but even children can be very nasty when it comes to interacting with others as well. And verbal abuse can really harm the child's self-esteem, and that needs to be guarded against, yes.